Hello. So where did it go? I just had this pen in my little hands when I was talking about my Waterman hard rubber pens, and this one I thought was interesting because of where it was engraved. Louise Haynes chose to have Louise C. Haynes, not to be confused with other Louise Haynes. She chose to have her name engraved on the very back of the pen rather than across the cap or around the clip of the cap. She put it there. When she's using the pen, no one would know her name because it is obscured. Bert Bonar, on the other hand, he wanted everyone to know his name. Not only that his name was Bert Bonar, but he was a calcinata quota buster, in quotes. So who knows what he actually did for a profession. He has a pen and ballpoint. He was up to date, in the know. The life of the party. Are you inviting Bert Bonar? Yes, he's a calcinator quota buster. Oh, is he? I just thought he was a calcinator. So this pen, though, the pen part of it, has, in fact, a clear section. And why is that there? Because that's a demonstrator. And why is that needed by Bert Bonar? It's not needed by Bert Bonar. I don't think Bert Bonar ever existed. I believe this pen and ballpoint set were part of a lot that I bought that included a salesman sample case and maybe some order forms or who knows what. And it is probably something that the pen dealer would have, or the pen salesman would have, saying, we can, for your company, we can write anything you want. And by the way, this is the 51, so you can see how the shell works, etc. And so this probably never was owned by Bert Bonar. And Bert Bonar is a figment of someone's imagination. Calcinator quota buster. So evidently Bert Bonar would have worked for a company that made calcinators. And if he sold, the person that sold the most quota busters, calcinators, would be the quota buster award. Why they're in quotes, I do not know. Because quotes make it sound like they actually sell secrets to the commies. That reminded me of this pen, though. This pen is a Parker 61, and I got it from a neighbor of mine who said, "Pierre, I know you collect pens. I got some pens of my late father's, and I'd like to know if you'd like to buy them. I don't want them." And he had two 61s, both black, both rainbow caps, I think. I can't remember now because I sold the other one. But before I sold them, I did a little switcheroo. I took the barrel of one and moved it to the barrel of the other when I switched the barrels. Because, why? Why did I do that? Because this one is the demonstrator. Yes, it has a crack right there, so if I filled it up, it would leak right there, but it's still a demonstrator, which by the time this pen was made, this shell and this feed system was all old news by that time, but for some reason they still made this for the salesman. And I said, well, why did he have that pen? That pen normally is given to dealers or salesmen, not to the regular people. And he said, well, his father was the Parker salesman for Southeast Asia. I've known this guy for decades, and he told me this last year. So anyway, so I kept the pen, even with the cap. I sold the other one, but so I like and that's his name. His name is R. Zecca, and that's a keeper. So other pens that I have here that are sort of neat, these all have initials or engravings on them, and I just love the diversity of what went into the person deciding where he was going to put the name, he or she was going to put the name, and how they managed to do it. This one has, what's funny about this pen, yes, it has this big long band on it, and that's where Harry Jordan put his name. This probably was a pen it's a Boston Safety pen. It probably was sold without the band, and Harry Jordan wanted people to know that this is his pen. Pens were expensive things back then, and you don't want to lose them. You want to put your name on them. Oh, I know who would want this pen. There's a pen person that I'm following, YouTube person, who she collects. She and I have a lot of Venn diagram overlapment. She likes pens. I like pens. She likes typewriters. I like typewriters. I have a collection of them. And she plays the ukulele, and I play the ukulele. And this one is awarded to the L.C. Smith and Brothers Typewriter Incorporated. And it's a Schaefer pen, so this was awarded by the Smith Brothers. So maybe Smith Brothers had a contest, the best short story written on a Smith thing. I want to apologize before I offend anyone out there that might share the same name as this person. This pen is, I think, one of the ugliest pens ever made. It's the Wall Eversharp Fifth Avenue pen, and it was made to imitate the Parker 51. And this is how Eversharp did it. And it's the least attractive pen. It looks like a lipstick case. This is a 14 karat gold cap pen and pencil set, and it was owned by someone named Gladys Schnimpf, SCHNIMPF, Schnimpf. Now, there might be very many fine people with the name of Schnimpf out there, and I'm sorry that that's the case. Here's a Parker 51, and I love the fact that this one has this guy's signature on it with all of these frou-frou. Are you going to get in focus or what? All of that paraff underneath, that little swirly bit business, which makes me smile. This was owned by a nun, Sister Leonelle. Sister Leonelle, OSB, whatever that means. So Waterman, who knows what this is? Harry Albert owned this pen. Presented to Mrs. Elberks by the Charleston Bible School, Arkansas. HP, I love that sort of arts and crafts era lettering on an Esterbrook. Dr. Brick, I love how his name matches the pattern on this Waterman pen and pencil set. I have, I think, if I remember correctly, a nice flexible stub nib in here to match the Dr. Brick. Presented to Kellogg Van Winkle for meritorious equitable service from the Oakland agency. So from the Equitable Insurance Company, I guess. Zilpha Lewis, the WAA track, 1924. Track team, Mad. Pen and pencil set, they both say on the cap. To Charles from Tinney, 20 years service in the police department, June 2nd, 1926 to 1946. And a Waterman pen from 1946. Anyway, I'm gonna end soon. Mike McCool owned this pen. Is it a snorkel? It isn't a snorkel. It should be a snorkel with Mike McCool pen and pencil set. This is sort of weird, this one. Lloyd Hisson's 16165 Steel, presumably Street, Detroit, Michigan, with a zip code. Now this pen, zip codes came into being decades after this pen was made. So it's just very funny that Cloyd? Is it Lloyd or Cloyd? Cloyd. What a silly name that is. Cloyd. How many Cloyd F. Hissons are there? Hissong in the world are there that live in Detroit, Michigan? Anyway, I just like the fact that this was engraved decades after the pen was made. It seems like you could put a stamp on it and it would automatically go back. And another one that's kind of fun, it's a commando pen that actually looks like it was in the war. The CW West USNR LZT 1050 D449, carved in heavy C's with a butter knife, a sharpened butter knife. I have 3 of these pens. Oh, where did the other one go? I wonder where it is. It's another one I have. It says U.S. government and then U.S. government, and the other one I have has U.S. government with quotation marks around it somewhere. This one was a pen where you could, at the point of purchase, you could tell the salesperson what your initials were, and they would slide these little letters in. So anyway, it's just fun. If these did not have the names on them, they wouldn't be nearly as much fun as they are. Beautiful engraving on that band. This one is in Chinese, and I like that. It looks like it belongs to the Chinese Communist Party. Parker 21, and it looks like it should say something like, I often go to the factory and learn from the workers, or some phrase like that. So when I find any pen like this one and realize it's in the wrong drawer, I open up that drawer and then I end up going down some other memory lane. Why is this one here? This one has to have a name engraved on it somewhere. It does. Down there, little tiny initials. Oh well. I could have been in focus. I suppose I was out of focus for the whole thing. Bye.